You're an entrepreneur, or you are a business executive, or you're a director, manager, or C-suite executive. You've been thinking about you want to improve the management skill. The people working in company who are the managers or directors, or you want to improve that you want them to manage themselves better. So one of the crucial things is about you have to invest. One of the courses is about training them about EQ. If you could boost their EQ, their performance in management will significantly increase. So in this video, I'm going to give you the 7 benefits you will be able to get if you train your team and emotional intelligence. And let's get started. Those 7 points. Number 1. Who get promoted in your company? The one who does the best amount of work in executive, they get promoted, right? So they can do their job really good. But when they become a manager, they start to get a big difference, because when they become a manager, their main mission is not only just doing their job better, but also make sure that everybody under them make their job best as well too, and make sure they actually manage and meet the standard quality of work too. And that will need a significant amount of EQ skill. They need other skills, but one of the main skills they also need of EQ. They can feel that teams, they can understand the team to do it. But more importantly, they don't have such kind of skill, because they have been only taking care of themselves and they care about their own goals. But now they need to take care of the whole team missions and goals and other peoples of the team members too. So that's why it's so much crucial that you train them about EQ. Number 2, avoid arrogance. So when you are training your management team about EQ, they will be much more humble, because they'll be using words like that, oh, that is not good. But when they are trained in EQ, they will say, oh, I understand your point of view, but how about this? Can it be better that way? So you see the 2 lines are significantly different, and it's because a reflect on the EQ. So that's why you can actually remove the arrogance, because your arrogance can create a micro team, can break a particular team, break into many pieces. Same time, it can create an amazing amount of extra conflict, which you don't want it to go through, because that will slow down your team, because they're not working together. Because the more they work together, more faster and more farther your company goes and become more successful. So when you train them in EQ, the arrogance will go down, because they will be much more humble and respectful. Number 3, listen from the team. One of the biggest problems the management team often force issues that they don't want to listen to the teams. And they always think about they're good, because actually they're really good, because they have done amazing work jobs in their career, in the company, or coming from other companies. So they have such kind of something special inside them, and that really make them where they are, which position they are. But the problem is, when they're working with other people, they also has a different point of view, and they have their own knowledge, they have domain expertise, and they have their own weaknesses as well too. So listening to them, what is the problem about asking them the right questions to them in the right moments is so much crucial. And that will only happen by your leadership team when you are really training them about EQ. Number 4, empathy of your team member, because it's so much crucial that your team to be successful, right? But there will be no chance that you will be 100% successful. There will be no chance you will be making 100% right decisions. And there will be no chance that everybody in your team member will be successful too. So there will be some unsuccessful situations. Of course, you will do your best to mitigate the failure, but more importantly, what you really need to do is about managing this failed situation, using this failure as a lesson learned. So, and that lesson learned process can create a fear, because you can fire people or you don't really understand them people. But if you start that thing rather than a fear from an empathetic situation, that will bring your team in a much more comfortable situation, so they can actually, it will enable them, oh, okay, that thing didn't go well, we learned from it, now let's catch up, and now let's try to solve problem. So that baseline will do is about lesson learned should be starting from empathetic behavior, and your management team really know how to promote empathy, and that will happen when you train them on EQ. Number 5, as we talked about a failure, team will fight back if they are properly trained by EQ. So who actually enable the team to fight back? Because it completely depends on the supervisor or manager or leadership role, because their decision, the way they promote, the way the message, the way they communicate will set the tone of the moral of the team. So if they really have the proper skill set of EQ, if they communicate in a proper manner, that will bring the team back and fight back rather than demotivate it and put the motivation even worse, because a failure is never a sweet situation. Anybody get demotivated when they are failure. Think about you. When you get failed, you always get demotivated. It's such like you felt like you waste of time and you didn't do what you need to do. So it's so much crucial that you communicate to your staff in a right way so they can really understand and fight back through the right communication. And that will happen. The right communication, right performance assessment, right feedbacks will only happen when you train your team, leadership team, management team on EQ. Number 6, boost the teamwork ability. Because when you have the right EQ in your team, so each of them will support each other, leader will guide them, listen to them, avoid their failure, cover their failure, and cheer their success. It's going to be a great culture in the team, and that team will work like a much more like a family, connected. They care about, they're hungry, they're working together, they back up each other. So that will really happen when you really train them on EQ, so they can understand each other, support each other, and walk together forward as together. And as a business leader or as a department head or executive or business owner, you're always looking your team to be successful, because when they're successful, your business is successful. Number 7, the risk management. So often there's a lot of people coming into the team and they're losing, and they're coming and go, somebody's staying. Different people come into your organization in different purpose. And it's so much important that your leadership team need to understand their purpose. Firstly, define that what purpose makes sense to make them joining the organization. And also they need to figure out that which purpose doesn't make sense to the organization. So when they're properly being trained in EQ, they can filter out during the hiring process which purpose doesn't make sense to the organization. Maybe they're coming from an expectation or point of view who doesn't make any sense. They will not be able to provide, and there will be an expectation gap, and there will be a crash landing in a very short period of time. So just put it out. And the second thing, when they're already joined the team, working with them, dealing with them, understand their personal life problem, work life problem, teamwork problem, it needs so much about EQ, because when they're doing, they will be able to assess something on the way which is coming down in few months or few weeks of time, or they will be able to oversee any future conflict, and they can take the decisions and communications or use other tools to avoid that particular conflict. So that's why EQ training can even reduce your risk mitigations, reduce your risk and help them to mitigate them as well too. So here are the 7 things you can really get by doing any particular EQ skill set for your business. So if you have been facing any particular problem for yourself or a particular team, go ahead and comment below too. And it's not about much important that you only train yourself in EQ, like I said, you have to train your leadership team as well too, so they can significantly EQ'd better way, so they will be able to solve your company problem and take the company forward. Or even if you're on a success road, they will keep continuing, because when you have the momentum, it's so much important to keep going to that momentum. You don't want to lose that momentum. So never think about to stop training and equipping your teams with the right skill set. And EQ is one of the great skill set your leadership team have. So here we go. That was my 7 tips how your EQ skill can boost the productivity of your management team. Let's train your team, make your business, make your team successful, and that's exactly the why you set up your business or the team.